Hi there, this is Thomas at bookkeepingconroe.com. I'm going to show how to use the QuickBooks phone app to log receipts and create expenses from those receipts in QuickBooks Online. So this is kind of live, the way that I have it showing here. So I'm hoping this will be a good video and make it clear for those business owners and bookkeepers and the folks that are working in QuickBooks and are dealing with these receipts. Now, if you have team members that need to provide their receipts, but they don't get into QuickBooks and they don't have access to your QuickBooks, there's a separate video for that. But this one is for the business owners, the bookkeepers, and whoever else is working in the QuickBooks of the company, because you can download the QuickBooks app for the company and get in there and do this, okay? So let's go ahead and just hop into it. I've got my receipt. I've got my marker where I'm going to write, and I've already written the job number on this receipt. If you don't track job numbers, then you don't have to do that. But some folks like to marry up the receipt to a job or a project, and this is how you would do that. You would write the project number on the receipt, and I've already done that, job 99. So it's very simple. I guess first you'll need to download the app. So I'm going to go ahead and close all these. If you have an Android, you'll go to the Play Store. If you have an iPhone, you'll go to the App Store. Okay, I'll make this quick. We'll just go to, for example, the Play Store here, and you will search for this one. Okay, you're going to type into the search QuickBooks. Okay, and you can choose any of these suggestions, but the one that you want, it says Intuit QuickBooks for Business. That's the app you want. There will be a link in the description of this video to ensure that you get the right one. Make sure you get the official app, okay? And once you have installed it on your phone, you can open it. We will go ahead and scan this receipt now. It's the green button, okay? So you see the green button. You're either back at your desk with a pile of receipts, or you're out in the field, or you're at Walmart or Home Depot in this case, and you've just purchased something and you want to go ahead and record it right then. All you need to do, once you've written the job number on the receipt, if that's relevant, make sure it's kind of flat, and green button, you're going to go snap receipt. You're going to hover it over your receipt. And there we go. It's taken a good sharp photo. You can choose next. It's uploading. I've actually already done this once before, so we're going to see two receipts and they'll be the same, but I will show you. Yeah, so we see that there's duplicates. We're going to delete the first one so that we can work just on this one. The one you see there is the one that I just snapped. So the first thing we want to just note is the amount right and is the date right? So I see on this receipt, it does say $90.81, and I see that the date of the receipt is 11/11/25, same as here in QuickBooks. And what you'll want to do, some of this you could give to your bookkeeper, but if you want to make sure, if you're the business owner, let's say, and you just bought something for the business and you want to make sure that it gets booked to the correct category, the correct account, you'll want to tap on that. The description is that is the wrong spelling of Home Depot, but that's okay because the bookkeeper is going to see that this is a Home Depot receipt. But why don't you help the bookkeeper out and let's choose the category first. Let's say that this is office supplies. So we say office. We'll say office supplies and software, physical office tools and equipment. I'll choose that. The payment account, let's just say it's cash. Now, if you're purchasing this with a credit card or a Home Depot card or whatever else, you can verify what you use to pay it by looking at the payment method on the receipt. 19 out of 20 times, you're going to see that there. So in this case, I see that a debit card was used, and I see the last four digits of that debit card. If you're there and you're doing this right away, then you'll know what card you used to purchase it. But if you don't do it right away and you end up with a pile of receipts, you might not remember. And that's why it's very handy to just take a look and see what did you use to pay for this receipt and this expense. So I'm just going to choose cash for this example. And where you see add split, that is if there was something else on the receipt that you wanted to code to a different category. In this case, there's only one thing on this receipt and we've chosen that category. But let's just say that there was also on this receipt a $5,000 generator that you purchased from Home Depot. Well, that is worth enough to where you'd want to capitalize it most likely and depreciate it over time. So in that case, you'd probably want to add split, and it's just going to allow you to add another item to kind of like break up the two items. So you'll have one that's going to the office supplies like we chose. That is going to be expensed. That's on the income statement. And then the generator, for example, you would call that, a fixed asset, equipment, something like that. And that would go over on the balance sheet. See, and that's why it's important to be able to split occasionally these receipts so that you have two different items on the receipt, and it's important to put those in two different categories, and that's how you would do it. All right, cool. So payee, let's go ahead and choose Home Depot. If I just say Depot, there's Home Depot. Okay, class, let's say that's Bookkeeping Conroe. It's for my office. All right, if you wanted to add a memo, you could. Let's just say, as an example, if we were going to capitalize it, that would be a time when you'd really want the memo, and it would just look something like this. This is an example, okay? It's not relevant to this receipt, but you would click on memo and you would say Milwaukee generator model M973. And that's it, right? So I've just hit save, and you can leave it. If you're the business owner, you can say my work is done. You don't have to hit the green create expense from receipt. But right now what I want to do is take us into QuickBooks so that you can see what your bookkeeper or whoever's doing your accounting in QuickBooks is going to now experience. So I'm here in my dashboard of QuickBooks, or I should say I'm in the company's QuickBooks dashboard. So what I want to do is click up in the search, and I can search for receipt, and you'll see that there's a link here. If it pops up, come on, buddy. Oh, there it is. Okay. The top one, receipts link. This is going to take us to the receipts center. And there's the receipt that we just created. And it's waiting for someone to convert that receipt into an expense. If you're the business owner and you have a good bookkeeper, you can say my work is done. If you are the bookkeeper, then you'll want to click on create expense. Okay, so it has moved from the for review tab into the reviewed tab. And we see a lot of great information. We have the image of the receipt, so we can always refer back. We see who created the receipt. That's who was logged in on their phone when it was created. We see the date of the transaction. We see the description. We see the amount. Okay? This is actually now in the books. If you went and looked at your profit and loss, you would see this transaction there affecting your income, your net income. And you can see that it is attached to the expense, right? So what did we do? We created the receipt, and then we created an expense based on that receipt. And we see that it is attached to the expense. So great, we've booked the expense, and we have full documentation of this receipt in real time, essentially, right? Because if this was done when the item was purchased, the process is super fast, super clean. If you were to go and look at the profit and loss, you would see this item there affecting your net income. That is beautiful, amazing. The next thing that probably is going to happen is within a day or a couple days, this transaction is going to clear the bank. And it's going to show up in your bank. And if your QuickBooks is connected to this payment account, whatever you use to pay for this item, it's going to come through the bank feed. and it's going to offer you an opportunity to match that bank feed transaction to this expense that we just created. Now we're going to have 3 pieces of information all bound up in one. We have the receipt, we have the expense, and we have the bank feed transaction. There's a lot of data there. This is the best practices way. This is fantastic. If you're a business owner, I highly recommend that you utilize this way to log your receipts. If you have a bookkeeper or an accountant that handles all of your bookkeeping, you could also just give them all your receipts and tell them to do it in the same way using their phone at their desk. This is not going to work for team members who do not have access to QuickBooks. There's another way that they can get their receipts into the receipt center. I have another video specifically for that workflow. And if you're interested, find the link in the video description, or you might see it pop up. There may be a playlist that you can watch as well. But I think I'll leave it at that. I hope this was useful to you. If it was, please consider giving the video a like and a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I'm putting out new content all the time. My goal is to help bookkeepers and business owners with their bookkeeping. And if you can do it yourself, that is fantastic. Let me empower you so that you can grow your business. If you get to a point where you don't have time or you just don't want to do it, I'm here for you to help as well. Bookkeepingconroe.com. Feel free to reach out to me, Thomas at bookkeepingconroe.com. Links in the description for that as well. And until next time, I wish you the best of luck in your business and in your life. And be the best. Bye-bye.